The raspberry is the edible fruit of several plant species in the genus Rubus of the rose family, most of which are in the subgenus Idiabatis. The name also applies to these plants themselves. Raspberries are perennial with woody stems. World production of raspberries in 2023 was 940,979 tons, led by Russia with 23% of the total. Raspberries are cultivated across Northern Europe and North America and are consumed in various ways, including as whole fruit and in preserves, cakes, pastries, ice cream, and liqueurs. Description: A raspberry is an aggregate fruit, developing from the numerous distinct carpels of a single flower. Each carpel then grows into individual drupelets, which taken together form the body of a single raspberry fruit. As with blackberries, each druplet contains a seed. What distinguishes the raspberry from its blackberry relatives is whether or not the torus, receptacle, or stem picks with, i.e., stays with the fruit. When picking a blackberry fruit, the torus stays with the fruit. With a raspberry, the torus remains on the plant, leaving a hollow core in the raspberry fruit. An individual raspberry weighs 3 to 5 g, 1/8 to 3/16 ounces, and is made up of around 100 drupelets. A raspberry bush can yield several hundred berries a year. Raspberries thrive in well-drained soil with a pH between 6 and 7, with ample organic matter to assist in retaining water. Raspberries need ample sun and water for optimal development. While moisture is essential, wet and heavy soils or excess irrigation can bring on Phytophthora root rot, which is one of the most serious pest problems faced by the red raspberry. As a cultivated plant in moist, temperate regions, it is easy to grow and tends to spread unless pruned. Escaped raspberries frequently appear as garden weeds, spread by seeds found in bird droppings. Raspberries are grown for the fresh fruit market and for commercial processing into individually quick frozen, IQF, fruit, puree, juice, or dried fruit, used in a variety of grocery products such as raspberry pie. Etymology: raspberry is a compound word from rasp and berry, first in print in 1602. Rasp in this sense derives from raspis, a sweet rose-colored wine, mid-15th century, from the Anglo-Latin vinum raspis. The speculation that it is derived from a Germanic word like the English rasp, so a rough berry, based upon its appearance, is a possible folk etymology according to Etymonline. The word rasp is still used for the fruit in the north of England and in Scotland. It was first in print in 1555 species, the fruit of 4 species of raspberry. Clockwise from top left: Boulder raspberry, Korean raspberry, Australian native raspberry, and Mauritius raspberry. Purple-fruited raspberry hybrid examples of raspberry species in Rubus subgenus Idiabatis include Rubus cratigifolius, Asian raspberry, Rubus gunnianus, Tasmanian alpine raspberry, Rubus idius, red raspberry or European red raspberry, Rubus leucodermis, whitebark raspberry or western raspberry, blue raspberry, black raspberry, Rubus occidentalis, black raspberry, Rubus parvifolius, Australian native raspberry, Rubus phonicolaceus, wine raspberry or wineberry, Rubus rossifolius, Mauritius raspberry, Rubus strigosus, American red raspberry. Sin. R. idius var. Strigosus, Rubus ellipticus, yellow Himalayan raspberry, Rubus fraxinifolius, mountain raspberry, in Southeast Asia and the Pacific Ocean. Several species of Rubus, also called raspberries, are classified in other subgenera, including Rubus deliciosus, boulder raspberry, subgenus Anaplobetus, Rubus odoratus, flowering raspberry, subgenus Anaplobetus, Rubus nivalis, snow raspberry, subgenus Chamaebatis, Rubus arcticus, arctic raspberry, subgenus Cyclactes, Rubus sieboldia, Malacca raspberry, subgenus Malachabetis. Cultivation: Getty Images. Flower: various kinds of raspberries can be cultivated from hardiness zones 3 to 9. Raspberries are traditionally planted in the winter as dormant canes, although planting of tender, plug plants produced by tissue culture has become much more common. A specialized production system called long cane production involves growing canes for a year in a northern climate such as Scotland or Oregon or Washington, where the chilling requirement for proper bud break is attained earlier than the ultimate place of planting. These canes are then dug, roots and all, to be replanted in warmer climates such as Spain, where they quickly flower and produce a very early season crop. Plants are typically planted 2 to 6 per meter in fertile, well-drained soil. Raspberries are usually planted in raised beds ridges if there is any question about root rot problems. All cultivars of raspberries have perennial roots, but many do not have perennial shoots. In fact, most raspberries have shoots that are biennial, meaning shoots grow in the first growing season and fruits grow on those shoots during the second growing season. The flowers can be a major nectar source for honeybees and other pollinators. Raspberries are vigorous and can be locally invasive. They propagate using basal shoots, also known as suckers, extended underground shoots that develop roots and individual plants. They can sucker new canes some distance from the main plant. For this reason, raspberries spread well and can take over gardens if left unchecked. Raspberries are often propagated using cuttings and will root readily in moist soil conditions. The fruit is harvested when it comes off the receptacle easily and has turned a deep color, red, black, purple, or golden yellow, depending on the species and cultivar. This is when the fruits are ripest and sweetest. High tunnel bramble production offers the opportunity to bridge gaps in availability during late fall and late spring. Furthermore, high tunnels allow less hardy floricane-fruiting raspberries to overwinter in climates where they would not otherwise survive. In the tunnel, plants are established at close spacing, usually prior to tunnel construction. Cultivars major cultivars yellow cultivar raspberries are an important commercial fruit crop, widely grown in all temperate regions of the world. Many of the most important modern commercial red raspberry cultivars derive from hybrids between R. idius and R. strigosus. Some botanists consider the Eurasian and American red raspberries to belong to a single, circumboreal species, Rubus idius, with the European plants then classified as either R. idius subsp. Idius or R. idius var. Idius, and the native North American red raspberries classified as either R. idius subsp. Strigosus or R. idius var. Strigosus. Recent breeding has resulted in cultivars that are thornless and more strongly upright, not needing staking. The black raspberry, Rubus occidentalis, is also cultivated, providing both fresh and frozen fruit, as well as jams, preserves, and other products, all with that species' distinctive flavor. Purple raspberries have been produced by horticultural hybridization of red and black raspberries, and have also been found in the wild in a few places, for example, in Vermont, where the American red and the black raspberries both grow naturally. Commercial production of purple-fruited raspberries is rare. Blue raspberry is a local name used in Prince Edward County, Ontario, Canada, for the cultivar Columbian, a hybrid purple raspberry of R. strigosus and R. occidentalis. Blue raspberry can also refer to the whitebark raspberry, R. leucodermis. Both the red and the black raspberry species have albino-like pale yellow natural or horticultural variants, resulting from presence of recessive genes that impede production of anthocyanin pigments. Fruits from such plants are called golden raspberries or yellow raspberries. Despite their similar appearance, they retain the distinctive flavor of their respective species, red or black. Most pale-fruited raspberries commercially sold in the eastern United States are derivatives of red raspberries. Yellow-fruited variants of the black raspberry are sometimes grown in home gardens. Red raspberries have also been crossed with various species in other subgenera of the genus Rubus, resulting in a number of hybrids, the first of which was the loganberry. Later notable hybrids include the oliliberry, boysenberry, marionberry, and tayberry. All are multi-generational hybrids. Hybridization between the familiar, cultivated red raspberries and a few Asiatic species of Rubus has also been achieved. Selected cultivars. Numerous raspberry cultivars have been selected. Two types of raspberry are available for commercial and domestic cultivation. The summer-bearing type produces an abundance of fruit on second-year canes, floricans, within a relatively short period in midsummer, and double or ever-bearing plants, which also bear some fruit on first-year canes, primicanes, in the late summer and fall, as well as the summer crop on second-year canes. Those marked AGM have gained the Royal Horticultural Society's Award of Garden Merit. Red, early summer fruiting Boyne Cascade Don Ferturti Venus Glen Cluva Glen Moy AGM, Killarney Latham Malahat Malling Exploit Malling Jewel AGM, Prelude Reuben Bulgarski Titan Willamette Red, Midsummer Fruiting Cuthbert Glen Ample AGM, Lloyd Late Summer Fruiting Cascade Delight Coho Ferturti Rubina Glen Magna AGM Leo AGM, Malling Admiral AGM Octavia Skoneman Chalamine AGM, Red Primicane. Autumn Fruiting Amity Augustatum Bliss AGM Joan J, Thornless, Caroline Ferturti Kateserdermer Heritage, Amara Joan J. Josephine Kwanzaa Quelly Matema Polka. AGM, Rafiki Ripley Summit Zeva Herbstern Yellow Primicane. Autumn Fruiting Anne Fallgold Ferturti Aranifwit Golden West, Golden Queen Honey, Queen Jambo Kiwi Gold Purple. Hybrids between black and red Everbearer Scepter Dwarf Cultivars Ruby Beauty equals NR7 diseases and pests insects raspberries. Due to the high sugar content of their fruit, are the main food resource of the Japanese beetle. The voracious feeding habits of these beetles not only pose a direct threat to raspberry plants, but also increase the risk of transmitting various plant diseases. This dual impact can significantly undermine agricultural productivity, making pest control a high priority for growers. Raspberry beetle in Europe and the raspberry fruitworm in North America lay larvae that feed on raspberries. Other insects that prey on raspberry plants are some butterfly and moth species, as well as European and American large raspberry aphids. Fungi Botrytis cinerea, or gray mold, is a common fungal infection of raspberries and other soft fruit under wet conditions. It is seen as a gray mold growing on the raspberries and particularly affects fruit which are bruised, as the bruises provide an easy entrance point for the spores. Potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, or bulbs are hosts for the disease verticillium wilt, a fungus that can stay in the soil for many years and can infest the raspberry crop. To avoid an infection, the soil should be fumigated after the harvest of these crops. Viruses plants are often simultaneously infected by 2 or more viruses. These viruses form disease complexes, doing more damage that way than they could by single infection. Raspberry mosaic disease complex is formed by synergistic action of black raspberry necrosis virus, raspberry leaf mottle virus, and rubus yellow net virus. It causes characteristic mottling and later yellowing of leaves, as well as smaller yields. Raspberry crumbly fruit disease is caused by raspberry bushy dwarf virus in co-infection with one or more of the following viruses: rubus yellow net virus, raspberry latent virus, and raspberry leaf mottle virus. This infection reduces cane growth in first-year plants, as well as druplet abortion in fruits, which leads to a distinct misshapen crumbly fruit appearance. It also causes plant dwarfing and shoot proliferation. Tomato ring spot virus is more common in older plantings and causes a crumbly appearance in raspberry fruit. Other symptoms vary from mottled, chlorotic mosaic leaves to leaf curling and ring spotting. Infected plants can also have low vigor and yield, but be otherwise asymptomatic. Production Raspberry Production, 2023, In-State 62640 World 940979 Source. FAO-SDAT of the United Nations in 2023, world production of raspberries was 940,979 tons, led by Russia with 23% of the total. Other major producers were Mexico, Serbia, and Poland. Nutrition raspberries, raw nutritional value per 100 g, 3.5 ounces, component amount energy 220 kilojoules, 53 kcal, carbohydrates 11, 94 g sugars 442 g dietary fiber, G fat 0 65 g protein 12 g vitamin C 26 2 milligrams, 29% DV asterisk, manganese 0, 67 milligrams, 29% DV asterisk, potassium 151 mg water 85, 8 g asterisk percentages estimated using US recommendations for adults. Raw raspberries are 86% water, 12% carbohydrates, and have about 1% each of protein and fat. In a reference amount of 100 g, 3.5 ounces, raspberries supply 53 kilocalories and 6.5 grams of dietary fiber. Raspberries are a rich source of vitamin C, 29% of the daily value, DV, manganese, 29% DV, and dietary fiber, 6.5 grams, but otherwise have low content of micronutrients. Phytochemicals raspberries contain phytochemicals such as anthocyanin pigments, ellagic acid, L-argitinins, quercetin, gallic acid, cyanidins, pelargonidins, catechins, quinferol, and salicylic acid. Yellow raspberries and others with pale-colored fruits are lower in anthocyanin content. Both yellow and red raspberries contain carotenoids, mostly lutein esters, but these are masked by anthocyanins in red raspberries. Raspberry leaves can be used fresh or dried in herbal teas, providing an astringent flavor. In herbal and traditional medicine, raspberry leaves are used for some remedies, although there is no scientifically valid evidence to support their medicinal use.